Hi there, it's evening time here in Port Fairy, Victoria, Australia. And I just wanted to share with you today the nitty-gritties of our trip so far. So we've driven 1,100 kilometers in 15 days, which leaves us 3 weeks left in Australia before we fly to New Zealand. I shared that our camper van is from Auto Sleepers in Sydney, Australia, and these arrangements were made with a fellow called Michael Laslin, who coordinated Australia's and New Zealand's, because we'll be renting one there too. So we've paid so far $4,161, and that's for 39 nights. So includes the $700 deposit that we had paid in back home, and that works out to about $107 a day, which isn't bad considering that's our bed and a rental car with unlimited, that's right, mileage. So we've been taking advantage of that. The most we've paid for gas so far is $204.9 per liter. And today we found a place for $187.9 per liter, so that was definitely a good find. We haven't paid for any camping so far. We've stayed in free camping, and we've found those places with an app called Wiki for $7.99. Well worth the $7.99 for sure. We're using the app to find our free camping spots. And the app will also tell you where to find water, fresh water for your tanks, where to dump, also the campgrounds around that you do have to pay or not, and points of interest, and restrooms. Very important in these vans, there's no washrooms. Actually gas stations and grocery stores too, so that's great for us foreigners who aren't familiar with your grocery chains and gas stations for that matter. So we're using a Google Fi international phone that we purchased in the United States 2 years ago, I think. You have to have a US address to purchase this phone, but we're Canadians and I just maintained the bill from there. We get unlimited data, which is prorated as to how much we use it. It works in 250 different countries, and I have my iPhone tethered to Jeff's phone by Bluetooth, and it's on airplane mode, so I'm not incurring any roaming fees. This seems to work well, although we use his Google Fi for FaceTiming our children back in Alberta. I have access to our banking and Facebook and emails on my phone. So far we've been charged $88 for the 3 weeks we've had it on. It's worth it to us to be accessible and to share our journey on here. We found that everything, and we know this is an island, is more than back home. So groceries, gas, anything that we need actually. So we've been averaging about $86 to $100 a week for our groceries, and we're eating well. We eat meat at most suppers, or as you call it, our teas. Our Canadian dollar here is worth $1.15 in Australia, and I'm grateful to not be losing the quarter we were losing in the United States. So far, we've seen kangaroos, wallabies, kookaburra birds, some huge cockatoos, and crimson and eastern rosellas, as well as gaillard birds. That's the gray and pink ones. They're so pretty. My husband Jeff has navigated to many wonderful spots that made his photography of Milky Ways an exciting adventure. So I'm hoping that this inspires some of you to look into traveling to another country. And I didn't even touch on our plane tickets, but that's I think changes too much to really stay on here. And we've had lots of flights to plan between flying here, then flying to New Zealand, then flying back home, mostly with Air Canada. So we're happy with them. And the only issue we had with Air Canada on our flight over here is I use a portable oxygen machine, and I brought 2 batteries with me, which is good for 12 hours. Our flight was 15. And I was under the impression that you could plug in my POC to recharge it, but unless you have a adapter, that doesn't work. So Canadian plane, European connections, that threw us off a little bit. So beware of that, and make sure you ask those questions if you need it. So that's it for today. I'll plug in a few pictures and keep smiling. I know we will. I gave him a pistachio. Oh, he's got it already. What do you think of that, Birdie? Huh? Like that? I got some water for you. What do you think? A little drink after that? Nut? Okay, this is a different one. Pretty. More greens and reds. Very cute. The other one's eating my apple core. Likes it, I guess. Grandpa says he's gonna do like in the pool. Ready? Get set. And... Ready, Grandpa?
What?
Dive. Or sit.
I'm just gonna fall backwards.
Okay, Grandpa's gonna fall backwards. Wow. Pretty cold, huh?
It actually feels really good.
Refreshing.
Could be his harem.
Yeah. Huge. That's quite the tribe, eh? Missy, careful. They're leaving. Aw. There they go. Missy, you stay. You stay, good girl.